Hey there, how you doing? Hot as fuck today. Resident Evil Survival Unit. A brand new mobile game coming to us straight from Capcom. And Aniplex? The anime people? Huh, neat. So the reveal was a couple days ago, obviously. I was there live. Not there, YouTube, you know what I mean. I'm not rich enough to do that. And it was a pretty substantial production for what this is. A kind of shitty looking mobile game. I don't know how else to say it. It looks like the most generic, like, fake ad zombie game ever. I mean, if you looked up fucking Residents of Evil on the App Store, I'm sure you'd find it. And it just looks really generic. I don't know how else to describe it. That isn't to say that it'll be bad. No, in fact, I hope it is very good, because this is the first time that we've actually got a fully dedicated Resident Evil mobile game that isn't just a port of Resident Evil 4. Now, the graphics and everything, it's a big contributor to this. Now, the models, they look fine. They're not as good as I was hoping. They're passable. Everything else looks really, I don't know how else to describe it, like maybe 4 phone generations, not even that, probably 6 phone generations behind from what it should be. I mean, mobile games don't have to look bad. Not anymore. Everyone might say, good graphics takes a lot of processing power. And that's true. But look at games like Genshin Impact, or fucking the horse anime racing girl game, Urasume, or Call of Duty. Call of Duty is on mobile, and it looks pretty damn good. I mean, last time I checked, it looked fine. You know what I mean. Mobile games don't have to look bad. Now, this game was touted as a fully fledged survival game. And from the gameplay, I'm not sure where the strategy game aspect comes in, because from what we've seen of actual gameplay, quote unquote, is 2 people in a hallway and Marvin summons a barrier, and I guess it's like a horde based thing. Maybe similar to The Last Stand, which, I'd be cool with. Like a Resident Evil zombie horde mode based mobile game. I think it'd be sick. But that doesn't seem to be what this is, at least from the rest of the trailer. There's one part at the very beginning of the actual game showcase where your generic player character wakes up in a hospital and then plays like a traditional Resident Evil game, even with like fixed camera angles, and that is pretty damn cool. That's a really neat little callback. But then you get outside and Claire is there and saves you from a couple zombies, and then from there I guess you go to your base, and that essentially can act as your hub station area that you can go do missions on. Again, I'm not 100% certain how this game is supposed to work. Maybe it's like the Walking Dead mobile game where you have a base and you could send your survivors out on missions, which that would be fine, but again, I'm just not 100% how this works. Or maybe I just need to watch the trailer again. Let me just go ahead and do that. Okay, I just watched the trailer again, and it seems that the whole gameplay loop is you have your base, you take your survivors out, and you do missions that involve you defending a certain position from hordes of zombies, and you use different abilities to do so. Probably should have opened up with that. Alright, so if that is the main gameplay loop, I can see that being pretty fun. And there's also some pretty neat little things here and there sprinkled throughout the trailer. There's a part where the manor is the main hub area, which is obviously a reference to Resident Evil 1 and 0, and technically 5, I guess the new one, and 8. Yeah, there seems to be a whole lot of references. Like, there's an actual typewriter that seems to be a launch point between missions, or maybe has something to do with the story. That might be it. The references are neat, and the character selection is also pretty neat, because Alicia Ashcroft from Outbreak File 2 is in the game. And if she's in it, then my boy Mark Wilkins has got to be in it.
I guess.
Help me! That'd be the bee's knees, I tell you. I'd be happier than a beaver in a lumberyard. And This game opens up the opportunity to possibly see characters we haven't seen for a while. I'm not keeping my hopes up, but maybe we can see Wolfpack again? You know? Wolfpack? Anyone? Lone Wolf? Just me? Okay. But now, how do we get these characters, you may ask? Well, that's another thing I'm not too jazzed about, I tell you. It's a gotcha game. Fuck. But heavy. How do you know it's a gotcha game? There's no indication. Dummy. It's the flares. If you see in the trailer, Claire shoots up a flare and your player walks out. Obviously, that's going to be how you get the other characters. I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. And it really upsets me that I'm probably never going to be able to pull for Hunk ever. But hey, on the bright side, this also opens up opportunities to see Lady Hunk in a game that isn't... What game was she from? Was it Revelations 2? Hang on. Yes, Revelations 2. God, I know so much about this fucking franchise. Alright, now, concerning canonicity. There is no canon. This is a, quote, parallel universe, which I'm sure they just mean this shit ain't canon. I am 100% okay with. Alright, so to sum up, it's Resident Evil's first fully dedicated mobile game. Yay! But it also looks kind of generic. Boo! But it has a bunch of characters that we all love. Yay! But you have to pull for them. Boo! It's not canon to any kind of timeline. Yay! But that may upset some people for some reason. Boo! So, at the end of this, I just feel mainly conflicted because I love Resident Evil. I want to see it branch out to more things. Because, and I will die on this hill, Operation Raccoon City was not a bad game. Not entirely. I kind of wish we could have seen more of those kind of games. But we'll see where this goes. My hopes aren't exactly the highest. I mean, I'm no fortune teller when it comes to video games. Far from it. I've only pre-ordered 3 games in my entire life. One of them was Black Ops 2. Way to go, 13-year-old me. You really pulled it in for that one. The other 2 were Fallout 76 and Battlefield 2042. I think we all know where those landed. But when it comes to Resident Evil, I got a pretty goddamn good track record when it comes to predictions. I knew Resident Evil 6 was going to be bloated. I knew the Resident Evil 3 remake was going to be cut up and there was going to be a lot missing because it was going to be released 1 year after the Resident Evil 2 remake. If that does end up being the case for Survival Unit, and I'm going to predict it's going to be September of this year that's going to get released. If that ends up being true, you come back to this video. I called it. Put it down in your textbooks. Heavy Armored Halberd says Survival Unit is going to be mid at best 2025. Ya mama. Even if this is a bad game, Capcom, you got me. I already did my pre-registration. I already got my free flare and supplies and everything. So, you got me. But I'm still going to be mad about it. Well, that's all I really had. We'll come back to this in September 2025 when it releases. Again, calling it. Maybe I can stream it for y'all once you guys do your fucking job and make me popular. But with that being said, it's going to be it for this video, and I hope to see y'all in the next one. Like, subscribe, and all that jazz. And go pick a fight with your local bath salt user.